A skylight flashing from steel tile, you're going to get a flashing for a skylight that looks like this. It's not going to have a lip on here, so you're going to bend your lip on there where you want it, like you'll see on our skylight. If you're doing a chimney, you're going to have a 1/2 inch lip here that's going to go up against the brick of the chimney. These things come in a 10-foot lengths, so it's up to you to cut and shape and fit them to fit onto your chimney and onto your skylight. So the way Don has done this skylight flashing, he's got 4 inches that he's measured back here. That's where he's going to fold that around the edge of the skylight, on the top edge of the skylight. This is going to be hanging past the top edge of the skylight, 4 inches. Then he's going to measure from this 4-inch mark down to the bottom here, where you see this line, which will be 1/4 of an inch longer than the size of the skylight or the chimney. Then he's going to miter it across here on a 45, never to come to a point. When you're doing metal, you never bring your cuts always to a point. You have a square edge and then your 45. A lot of that's to do with the way the water flows down, and it'll run out in a nice spot then where you want it. So that's pretty much going to be your cut edge at the bottom of your skylight. Now Don here will put another line, 4-inch mark. He'll measure back the 1-inch mark where he wants to cut it. So you'll have one line for the cut line, one line will be for where he bends it. This here is a junction sheet, and a junction sheet is used for going above a chimney or a skylight. The junction sheet for the K-Tech profile we're doing is going to be in the shape of the K-Tech profile, and it goes from the profile to a flat area. The flat area is the area that you can bend on a brake to go up the back side of a chimney or up the back side of a skylight. So if you have a look at our skylight that we have here, you'll see that we made a slice across the top of the skylight. And the slice across the top of the skylight is where we want our junction sheet to go up and underneath the roofing panel. And then the water has to get up on top of the panel so that it runs down the sides of the skylight. It's a bit of a tricky area to do, but if you do it right, you'll never have a problem with these skylights. So what we're going to do is we're going to be going underneath the roofing panel from here up. This is going to be coming on top, and we're going to bend this up the back side of the skylight. So these lines, if you can see them on here, are where we're going to bend and shape our junction sheet. Here is we've cut the panel across 10 inches above the skylight. So that's where we're going to bend our junction sheet. So the panel is going to go underneath here, over top here, and the water will be able to run down the sides. Now you'll notice here we've slit the panel off to the side. And we've also slid it there off to the side. That's because we want the water to get well out and away around the skylight, away from the side of the skylight frame. So that's the point of that. You would do a chimney pretty much the same way. So what we've done here now, we've bent the junction sheet on our brake, and we've bent it from here to here 9 7/8 to fit in up there. We've bent it up the back side of the skylight frame, and then we put a 1-inch lip on it here. Now if you're doing a chimney flashing, usually a chimney you're going to go a little higher up on the back side to cover the old flashing that you would have on there. But on a skylight frame that we're doing here, this is the height. So you'd want to bend and form your junction sheet basically to this shape. So when you're doing the junction sheet, you want to keep your junction sheet going past your skylight frame here. Here we're going 6 inches past on each side, so that'll get the water well out and away from the side of the skylight. So what you see here Don doing here is he's bending these things around, and he's trying to put some red paint back on the back side here, so he's folding these things right around at 180 degrees because there is going to be showing here these areas. Plus it stiffens it up for some strength for snow and push that's going to be coming from above. So when you see that, you'll see that the water here now is going to be able to go out and around away from the skylight frame. Awesome. When you're doing this here junction now, what you would want to do is you would want a silicone underneath this panel and on top of this junction sheet all along this area along the top. And then once you've got your silicone in there, then you'd want to go along and put down your screws in the top there.